Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Reject Films. Here today with a video response to the horror man's question of why horror? Why do we love horror so much? Whenever it's such a, a tragic thing when it happens in real life, and, just what attracts us to this genre, why are people so dedicated fans of this genre and everything, and whenever realistically we wouldn't want anything to happen to anybody, especially ones that we care about and things like that, and we don't want to lose people close to us, but we want to watch this stuff in film, and we enjoy watching people being killed in slasher films and things like that, and so yeah, what is it that attracts us to this is the question, really. And it's a pretty good question. We lose someone close to us, and we sit here and question why we enjoy seeing these things being done to people. But I know for me personally, I enjoy the horror community, full of lots of great people. I've met a lot of great people here on YouTube in the time that I've been on here within this community, especially Facebook groups, going to conventions, Days of the Dead and Horror Hound, just being around people, and some of the nicest people you'll ever meet, bumping into each other, crowded, but they're always polite, they're always excuse me, sorry, or talk to you like you guys have known each other forever, and you just met. Things like that, where you can just have a conversation with somebody about certain films in the genre, and, you can relate, and you just feel like you guys are friends right off the bat. And it's just a really great community to be in, and I feel like horror films in general, just they open up like all of your senses, especially horror comedies. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll be scared, you'll every emotion you can feel, you feel in horror films. It's, and to be scared, to be afraid, whatever like that, is the most alive you can feel sometimes. It just really yeah, I don't know. It's hard to explain sometimes, but fellow horror fans know what I'm talking about. And you get more unique films in that genre as well, and you have so many subgenres too. Like I say, you have horror comedies, you have slasher films, you have religious horror stuff, you have just cheesy over the top stuff. You have, there's 1,000 different subgenres to the category of horror. 70s, 80s, you have different decades, you have different styles, you have Italian horror films, the giallo films, you have just so many different kinds, and it just seems like they hold up better than a lot of action films and comedy films do, and they have more of a following. They have, you can relate to either the survivors, the victims, the killer, whatever it may be. Depending on the film, you can relate, or you have sympathy for the killer for some reason. You see they were brought up in a certain way. I don't know. It's just, there's so much to the genre as a whole, and yeah, I'm rambling on. He also asked to show a few films that we grew up with that really got us into, the horror genre. So I pulled a few films from the collection here, and stuff from my childhood. I didn't watch a whole lot of, scary movies growing up, except for mostly mainstream stuff, and it wasn't until I got on YouTube and got into these Facebook groups where I really started to expand my horizons more. And thanks to a lot of you guys out there, I've opened up to movies I never would have seen, companies I've never heard of before, And the only company I kind of knew before doing YouTube was Scream Factory and Arrow and stuff like that. And then finding out all these other companies and movies has just been awesome. It's been just opened my eyes to so many more things. So get into the movies here. Of course, this is stuff that I'm sure a lot of you grew up watching as well, but ones that got me into the genre and made me feel scared or whatever, or hold sentimental value to me, of course, has to be Nightmare on Elm Street, especially the original film. Just this is the franchise that scared me probably the most out of any of them. I was so scared to go to sleep as a kid watching this stuff, and yeah, and now watching them, it's just a great time. But just the thought and idea of you have no control over it. You have to sleep at some point. It's just terrifying, and yeah. I mean, of course, the first one's the only really like scary one, the darkest one, and then they get more comedic after that. But yeah, this is definitely probably the franchise I watched the most growing up, and aside from the remake, you have just really good makeup on Freddy when it was Robert Englund, and the new one's not scary to me at all. But yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street is definitely something from my childhood that I hold near and dear. Another one that scared me so much as a kid that really got me into the spiritual horror stuff is The Exorcist, which I'm sure again a lot of people would have this on their list growing up watching, and this movie still scares the crap out of me. It makes me feel uneasy watching it. I know some people won't even like own this movie because of religious beliefs and everything, and don't even want it in their house because they feel like this stuff is real, and could possibly be. I mean, there could be things like that in this world. Really need to upgrade this one day, but yeah, this is one I definitely watched when I was younger, and really holds a special place. And then, not a movie, but a show that I grew up watching with, between my eyes whenever the main host was on screen, and that is Tales from the Crypt. I do have a few more seasons than this. I need to get the rest of them, but yeah, and to go into more detail, at the time that I was introduced to this show and living at home with my sister, both my sisters, one of them had a boyfriend that could do the Crypt Keeper laugh like perfectly. So I would try to go to sleep and he would do the laugh and just scare the shit out of me. And that's just something I will always remember growing up as a kid. Older siblings and stuff wanting to scare their younger siblings. I'm like 10 years younger than my sisters, so yeah, they were like teenagers and stuff, and I was just a kid. And yeah, so Tales from the Crypt, mainly the Crypt Keeper, just scared the crap out of me. And now it's just so cheesy and corny that I don't know what I was scared of, but especially growing up living in an older house and with a basement and crawl spaces and stuff like that, and just hearing noises through the night, it just really got to me. And another one that used to scare me a lot growing up is The Evil Dead. I didn't see Evil Dead 2 or Army of Darkness till later on, which I absolutely love Army of Darkness and I enjoy Evil Dead 2, but the first one definitely is the scariest film of the three. Just going through the woods, the camera panning through the woods and everything like that just gives me an uneasy feeling. Even nowadays, if I ever watch this alone at night, it just makes me feel something. I mean, being scared is like the most alive you can feel. The most, I don't know. It's just, yeah, Evil Dead. And to finish it off, I hold this movie near and dear to me because me and my wife watch this every Halloween, and I believe we went to the movies and seen it as well. And it's just a movie that we share a common love for, and that is the remake of House on Haunted Hill. Just a fun movie, absolutely love it. It never gets old to me. Like I say, we watch it, I think, every year around Halloween time, and she just absolutely loves it. She's not the biggest fan of a lot of films that I am, but this one is definitely one I can throw on anytime, and she will watch. Yeah, great cast, great special effects for the time at least, and it just means a lot to me because we share the memories of watching this together. So this is a region-free import if anybody's curious. So yeah. So those are the movies, like I say, that really got me into horror and everything like that. Movies that just mean something special to me. And I've seen more since then that mean something to me as well. I didn't include my favorite film of all time in there because I didn't grow up watching it and don't have a connection with anybody on it. But yeah, it's just, like I say, it's a great community to be in, be part of, and all the love and support that people have shown me on my channel over the years has been just fantastic, and so much more than I ever could have hoped for or imagined. And to be over 500 subscribers, doing something I love doing, talking to you guys about movies that I enjoy, just doing what I want to do, and not feeling like I have to do certain things or buy a certain amount of movies or review certain movies just to have people comment on my videos or message me on Facebook or whatever the case. I've made a lot of really cool friends on here, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys for sure. But thank you, HORRORman, for the question. It is definitely a great question. I still don't know exactly why it is we're drawn to this, but I don't know. I tried to give the best answers I could. And like I say, it's just the best, most respectful, nicest people in this community, and everybody looks out for everybody, and these films just, they don't die. They just have, if anything, create more of a following over the years. They have their resurgence. They have, they'll come out with a remake or a new one. People want to revisit the original. You don't have that a lot with other genres, and it's just, like I said, a fantastic community to be a part of. Make sure you guys check out the HORRORman's video. I will leave a link to that one below if you guys want to upload something and tell us why you love this genre so much and what it is that attracts you to it and everything like that, and movies that really got you into the genre and everything. Feel free to upload. I'm not going to tag anybody or anything, but if you want to do one, great. If not, hey, great too. Just happy to have you in this community. Yeah, I tried to make this video as short as possible, going over a little bit more than I wanted to. So that's going to do it for this video, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.